Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to round 6 of the Rookie Racing Championship, and it's the British Grand Prix this evening. My home race. Shame I can't drive. I'm stuck in the commentary box instead, but it should be a good race. Very big grid tonight. 18 drivers, just missing a couple of guys tonight who couldn't make it, but majority of the drivers are here and ready to go. We just wait for qualifying to get underway. Hopefully you can hear me all nice and clearly. Fingers crossed if my mic's working correctly. Should be. Might be a little bit quiet. Hello? Hello? Okay, it should be okay now. It should be all good to go. Just do a quick sound check. Hello. And it seems like it's all good coming up at the other end of the stream. If you could just hit thumbs up in the chat, guys, just to make sure you can hear me nice and clearly. It's saying on the OBS it's okay, but sometimes that thing lies, as we found in the past. As the qualifying session has just about begun. Just seeing, I think somebody's on a lap already. It is Justin in the house, so I've got some thumbs up in the chat, thanks guys. So the sound is good. And Justin coming off a good performance at the Hungaroring a couple of weeks ago. Seems to be driving pretty well in that Haas at the moment, which is encouraging to see. I mean, the Ferrari powered cars have never been the quicker cars round here. Felix has in the Alfa Romeo has retired from the session already. I'm not sure why that has been caused. Couple of lap times coming through. Cohen with a 1:25.2, Enderman with a 1:28.6 to open the sheet. And Crispy Chicken splits the two of them with a 1:27.2, so times going through. So Cohen currently leads the way with a 1:25.2, followed by SDQ in the Renault, who's pulled out a really quick lap to open the sheet. 1:25.6, not far off the pace. Justin just behind with a 1:26.2. We just saw him on his lap there. Let's have a look at Crispy in the Alfa Romeo. Cohen in the other Haas just getting out the way there of him. comes through the last chicane. Smooth as he can. Out of club corner, across the line. No improvement so far. Almost got it there. Enderman has gone P5 but is in the pit lane. Looks like Callum's diving for the pits, who's gone 6th fastest so far in his AlphaTauri. Bronco, a reserve tonight in the Red Bull. 1:29.1, first time we've seen him out this season. Seems to be setting the lap times. He looks to try and get out of the way of everybody. Around the final corner, across the line, no improvements. He stays P10 for now. As DR Stefan in the Williams has just done a 1:26.3, splitting Justin and Bossy. Bossy just behind in the other Renault. Seems like the Renaults and the Hasses seem to have combined pace round here. And the Alfa, as Crispy Chicken retires now in the other Alfa Romeo, so that's both front. Well, Alfa Romeo currently leading the drivers, well, the drivers and the Constructors' Championship, both out of qualifying. That's really interesting. Potentially mechanical issues with the cars. It is a scorching hot day here at Silverstone. Temperature is very high. I did just see one of the Alphas. I'm assuming that was Crispy there. Looks like he was off the road coming out of Stowe Corner as we see Stefan enter the pit lane. Fabio currently in the pits. Bronco going slowly. Bossy, however, in the Renault's on a quick lap, so we'll have a look at him. See Bossy coming down the back straight into Stowe Corner, nice and tight on the apex. Exit speed pretty good, and well, as Bossy dives for the pit lane. Fewer blitz in the Mercedes, still to set a time yet. Declan in the other Mercedes car, still to set a time as well, so you would think the Mercedes have the pace round here to potentially do well. I've just seen Lewis Oliver in the Racing Point has just set a 1:25.9, splitting Justin in SDQ and moving into P3. got quite a few people, fewer blitz. It's just done the 127.1. I was just typing on Discord, so I didn't see him cross the line then. Multitasking is not a strong point. Not many people setting themselves up for laps at the minute. I think Versailles might have just gone on to one actually, or is trying to set himself up for one, or going for the pit lane in fact, is the answer. Fewer blitzes, looks like he's going for a back-to-back flyer, but based on the speed he's going round Maggots and Beckett's, out of Chapel and onto the Hanger Straight. Racing down towards Stowe Corner, hard on the brakes. See, I've just turned the chat back on and just seen quite a few comments. Cheers, Callum. I'll try and give you a fair representation if it's all possible. Let's go and have a look at Fab in the McLaren. Just done quicker actually, just done a 127.9, moves it up to just outside the top 10, P11. And the lap times are starting to come thick and fast. Bossy has dropped down the field a bit, and that's his teammate SDQ off there in the background in the other Renault car. Comes down the back straight into Brooklands and then up into Luffield. Flat to the floor out of Luffield through Woodcote, down the national pits, and then into Cops Corner. Again, flat as you like, and there's a McLaren gone round there. Looked very suspiciously like Fab to me, and it is. Looks like Fab's had a moment. He's lost a bit of his front wing. And he's clearly struggling for downforce in that car. He's just gone down the escape road coming through Maggots and Beckett's, so he'll be wanting to try and get back to the pit lane as quickly as possible. Let's have a look at Callum in the AlphaTauri, second lap out. Comes through Maggots and Beckett's, pretty flat. Fabio and the other Williams just behind him has done a 125.8, which again splits the top packs. There's Fabio coming around Cops there, and Callum just let through Stefan through there at the start of the lap. Callum will now enter a flyer, you would think. Just under 4 minutes to go. Callum comes down the back straight, nice and tidy, into Brooklands. Tight on entry, tight on exit. Just trying to feed the car round. Don't want to be too aggressive and light up the rear tyres on the exit and spin round. As SDQ just goes fastest with a 125.2. Pretty much identical lap time as Cohen there, just by about a few thousandths of a second. We'll stay on board, stay with Callum to see what sort of lap time it is. It looks like it is quicker. Bit wide coming through Stowe there, like, but having the brakes into the Vale chicane. And out of club corner, what's it going to be? It is an improvement. It's a 127 force up to P11. Nicely done. A few of Blitz in the meanwhile has got his Mercedes up into the top 10. Declan still to set a time. We'll have a look at SDQ's just gone fastest with a 125.2. Seems like that Renault is really suited to this track. Whether it would be enough to stay there, I'm not sure. As he just skips Maggots and Beckett's altogether. Clearly trying to get back to the pits as quickly as possible. It looks like he's had some damage on his end plate there on the on our right hand side, his left hand side of the car. So he'll be wanting to get that fixed as soon as possible, and so be it. Dives for the pit lane. And had a look at Enderman as he comes across the line to start a lap. To start a lap, 128.6 he's done so far, so quite a bit off the pace. There's Bossy in the Renault just off track. Maybe had a bit of a moment coming through Village. He comes through Brooklands now into Luffield. Nice and tight on exit. Down through Woodcote onto the back straight. It seems like it's I said this in the last race as well, that the Ferraris have been struggling this season pace wise. We saw it last time out of the Hungaro ring that they were struggling for pace, and it seems like the same has happened again. Stefan's out of the qualifying session in the Williams. Looks like he's had a crash. As most of the drivers across the line already. Let's see what Enderman can do. Cross the line, no improvement. And we do have still a few guys left on laps, so Justin will be the first. This is a good opportunity for him actually, him and Fabio, because everyone else around them can't improve. Looks like Justin was pushing that car to the absolute limit, but decides it's not good enough and dives to the pit lane, on board with Fabio coming out of Chapel and onto the hanger straight. DRS flap open into Stowe. Nice and tight. Is he diving for the pit lane as well? No, he's staying out. Now, is this going to be an improvement? Can Fabio get on pole position? Cross the line, no improvement again, so that leaves it as it is. There's nobody else that can make improvements out there. So SDQ's on pole, from Cohen, from Fabio, from Lewis, from Justin in 5th, Stefan 6th, Bossy 7th, Crispy 8th, Fewer 9th, Mercedes 10th, Callum with a brilliant qualifying session goes P11, Bronco 12th, Fab in 13th, Enderman 14th, Ben 15th, Storm 16th, Declan 17th, and Felix in 18th. Felix coming from the back of the grid again. It'll be interesting to see how he does. We just wait for the session to continue and we'll be back shortly. Stay tuned. As welcome back to the session, guys, as the grid moves off for the formation lap. But surely, Pirelli predicting the one stop for this race, which is normally about right round Silverstone. However, tyre wear is quite high on this racetrack, so some people will be doing softs to hards, some will be doing mediums to hards. I've got a funny feeling most likely the mediums to hards would be a better strategy, but it seems like everyone has gone against that, and most people will be starting on the soft tyre, apart from Callum and Felix, who obviously qualifying outside the top 10, get the free tyre choice. As the grid makes their way round, slowly but surely. It should be a good race, this one. Big grid. Hopefully some good action. I'm able to see. For some reason, Crispy Chicken, by the looks of things, is shot ahead of everybody on the grid. A few guys being reset to the grid. See there, a few of them have been reset as they all crawl into their grid spots. It should be a good race, should this one. So everyone just forms up quickly. There is SDQ's view down towards turn 1. Good race. Is everyone in grid positions? Oh no, please don't say it's glitched. Hopefully the game has not done the big die. No, it hasn't. The 5 LED lights have come on. Lights out, away we go. Good start and get away from STQ from the front of the grid. Cohen's alongside, but there's a big crash in the middle. It involves several drivers. Versailles and a few others are involved in that one as they all come round through into village for the first time. Nice and steady away. There's more spinners in the background. That's Bronco and Stefan this time. Spinning in the midfield. There's been a lot of contact early on. As they come out of the Wellington Straight down towards Brooklands already. A lot of contact, a lot of position changes, but SDQ somehow still leads the way. From Cohen, from Fabio, from Lewis, from Bossy, and there's a stream of Formula 1 cars coming down into Copse Corner. I think there'll be a few people pitting. Callum has fallen to the back of the field, so seemed like he was caught up, and who's that? That's SDQ off! The race leader has been taken out, and it looked like it had come from one of the other cars. I think he might have come from one of McLaren cars, actually, looking at it. There's been that many incidents in this first lap. I'm surprised the safety car hasn't come out as we continue racing on. So that means Fabio in the Williams leads the way. Storm has entered the pit lane but has entered it at the wrong speed. He's been done for speed in the pit lane. As Fabio's gone off and Fabio's crashed, and that has brought out the virtual safety car. Fabio into the wall coming out of Abbey Corner. And that has shook up the field. So the virtual safety car has been brought out because of it. And Lewis Oliver now leads the way from Bossy, from Justin. So this is turning into a interesting race, to say the least. VSC still out. And now we go green. VSC has ended. Fab has got a drive-through penalty for speeding under the VSC, so he would have been speeding under. He's actually retired from the session now, so maybe or maybe not disagreed with that. As you see, Declan and Bossy having a scrap for P2. Yellow's in sector 2 and 3 again. Maybe that's 4. Bossy goes for a dive down the inside and gets it. He's turning into a nice little battle for P2, but Crispy's right behind them. Declan looked like he was forced out a bit there in the Mercedes. To come through Abbey into Village. A little bit of touching as Declan goes for a dive down the inside, just about keep it clean. Bossy is having to defend, on board with Declan down the inside. I think he's got the move done. He has. Is Crispy going to follow him through? More touching. Crispy half spins and has lost out there to Justin, to Bossy, and Felix has just got past Bossy. But after being vulnerable on the exits, Felix has come from the back of the grid to P3. Not surprising given the absolute carnage at the start of this Grand Prix. But it is turning into a very exciting British Grand Prix, as it always is. But Lewis Oliver in the racing point is just absolutely loving the battling that's going on behind him. You can see the pack. He's pulled a 4.5 second gap over Felix now. In fact, Felix has just gone round the outside of Declan at Stowe. So this is turning into a very interesting race. On board with Declan in the Mercedes, trying to get back after Felix. Lewis Oliver just does the fastest lap of the Grand Prix, and then Felix does it. So, but Felix, you would think, he's on the better strategy here, as there's a little bit of a scrap going on behind. As Crispy outbrakes himself, Bossy down the inside. Crispy outbrakes Bossy. Bossy down the inside. The side-by-side for Aintree and onto the Wellington Straight. Hard braking down into Brooklands. Crispy eventually has to give way. Sensible of him. SDQ is also there and has got past Crispy. SDQ might go around the outside. Oh, in fact, he's got it done even before Cop's corner. And speaking of which, he's just gone off the track. He's just potentially got a tank slapper on there by the looks of things. That's going to leave him vulnerable to Justin behind in the Haas. DRS for both of them. Justin, you would think, would be using overtaking mode. He's going to try and go around the outside into Stowe and then get the cut back, and he's got the move done. Great move from Justin up into P6. Originally was going to go for the Nigel Mansell into Stowe corner, but decided that Bossy had understeer and cut back to the inside really nicely. That could be in with a shout for overtake of the week. As meanwhile, just a little bit further up the road, Bossy is still on the back of Crispy Chicken, on board with Crispy, and Declan started to pull away from this group a little bit now. 2.7 second, well, 1.3 should I say, sorry, that's the car in front. So yeah, 1.3 seconds is the gap between Declan and Crispy. and it's even bigger further behind that, so it is turning into a nice little race this, and it'll be interesting to see where it goes. And just behind them, Justin is in the middle of a Renault sandwich there at the minute, the Haas being the filling. Renault being the bread. As they come out onto Hanger Straight, excuse the puns. And Justin might be able to get his way out of this sandwich. He's going to have a go up the inside of Bossy. Side by side, I think he's got it done. I can't tell because the cameraman's on the source again. Touches the back of Justin. SDQ not far behind that, hopping over that big curb on the Exeter Club corner. And Bossy's still racing as hard as he can. Meanwhile, with that battle sort of deflating, shall we say, Declan and Crispy are having a battle for the final podium place. It'll be interesting to see how they get on. It looks like that might have phased out a little bit for now, so we'll go and have a look at a bit of a tighter battle between Cohen and Stefan. You can just see Stefan's wing there. Cohen has DRS coming down the Wellington straight, and he got it done before the corner. Nice move. But Stefan's going to fight him. Stefan is going to fight him. Is he going to try and do the cross back or the cut back? He thinks better of it that time. But there definitely is potential that he could do that. Felix is just absolutely smashing lap times out of the record at the minute. Storm with a 3-second penalty for multiple corner cuts. But Felix is closing that gap to Lewis. So that could be interesting in the next couple of laps to see where that ends. Enderman's left the session. I think his AI's still going. Yes, it is. He'll still be in the race. So we've got yellow in sector 3, and that's who it is. It's Storm in the barrier on the pitch straight. It'll be interesting to see what happened there. Did have an incident like that in an F2 league race in one of my other leagues the other night, where there was a car on the outside coming out of club, and they just made contact on the exit, but by the inside car running wide, and the inside car got spun into the wall. As Storm drops it again, I think he's lit them tyres up, I think, if he's spun again. Shame to see. Meanwhile, while all that was kicking off, Felix somehow has got past Lewis already, even though the gap was about 2 seconds, so he's disposed of Lewis pretty quickly. But he's setting fastest laps of the Grand Prix every single lap at the minute. We've got a yellow in sector 2 again. It'll be Maggots and Beckett's area. Potentially Storm again losing the car. And Lewis is dropping back now. We know what the pace of Felix is like in that Alfa Romeo. I mean, we've seen it all season. He's dominated the championship so far. Quite a healthy amount of points at the top as well. So interesting to see how that battle goes. Meanwhile, Mercedes was on the back of Cohen, but it looks like he's just got it all crossed up. So we'll go and have a look at a little bit of a better battle, a three-way scrap between Declan and SDQ. Declan got shoved a little bit there. And got another yellow in sector 3. I'm not sure who that's for. Find out. I think it's Storm off the racetrack actually. By the looks of things, seems like the yellow's in sector 1 now, so find out where it is. On board with Justin in the Haas, trying to get past Crispy slowly but surely. He comes down the back straight. DRS of all the cars behind apart from Crispy. It'll be nice to see Justin get on the podium. He's had a bit of rotten luck in the last couple of races, shall we say. So nice to see if he can get. Bronco's on a 3-second penalty now, so penalties are stacking up a bit. Track limits around this Silverstone circuit though are quite strict, so, and the game does tend to throw out quite a lot of warnings for track limits. It seems like Crispy is pulling away slightly there, and Justin has got DRS, but he's coming under attack from SDQ. SDQ into Stowe. Up the inside, is he going to get it done? Yes he is the answer. And Justin instead decides to dive for the pit lane anyway, so Justin coming in for his pit stop. I think Declan behind him's coming as well. He has, there we are. So Declan's in the pits. Declan will be the first to get serviced. Let's see how this stop goes. Nice and smooth, straight onto the mediums. Justin stop. And he's serving a penalty, so he's not going to get out ahead of Declan. He's going to lose that position. So Declan jumps Justin in the pit lane. There are a few on hard tyres out there. Callum, currently still, who started on the medium tyre in the AlphaTauri, still going on it. And it looks like Justin has come out quite close to the back of Vaseity in the Red Bull. Let's have a look if we can see. Yes he has, he's come out right behind him. As he dives down the inside, Justin making a move early on. Fresher tyres, remember. Inherits P8. And just behind Vaseity actually, I think that's Stefan it is. So Stefan will be the next car to try and get past. And he's going to have a go. We had a look trying to go around the outside through cops there. It's not the ideal place to pass. Quite fast corners. Stefan now has DRS, so you would think he's going to have a go on Vaseity. Down into Stowe. Yep, sweeps around the outside. Nice move. So Stefan moves up to P9. We've got a few others in the pit lane. So we've got SDQ and Crispy. Crispy's just leaving. SDQ is just about leaving. It's going to be tight between him and Declan though. Where are they going to come out? It's very tight. As Bossy dives down the inside of Justin. SDQ tries to follow him through. Thinks better of it. That might be contact there between the Williams and the Renault. I think it was. SDQ and Stefan touch. He looked very close for comfort there. And who's Alf in the background? I think it's Stefan. It is. It's a huge accident. It's Stefan and Vaseity. An absolutely massive accident, and that has brought out the full course safety car. It's a full course yellow, so the drivers are going to have to slow down, but that was a heck of an impact, was that, between the two of them. It looks like they got it crossed up on the straight and just lost it. You just saw it out the corner of the camera. Oh, that was a nasty impact, was that? Real shame that has occurred. Callum will be happy though. Callum moves up to P9 and he's going to close on to the back of the gap again. But this is news that Felix did not want, because the back of the pack, all the pack now are going to be bunched up. As we see him leading around the safety car queue, all the pack are going to be bunched up behind that safety car now. So that was the last thing that Felix wanted, and that safety car, if you ask me, has come at the wrong time. And who's that off in the background? I think that was Versailles again, struggling with... No, it can't have been. It must have been Bronco, because Versailles just pitted, so... And Bronco going quite wild on the background there. Well, this has turned into an interesting race now, because I can't see which way this is going to go. However, there are going to be 2 lapped cars between Felix and Lewis for the race lead, which is less than ideal for Lewis, but the pack is still going to be bunched up, as it looks like Felix is pitting. Felix is pitting. I think a few people might take advantage of a pit stop. Lewis has decided to stay out, so he inherits the race lead. Lewis has the race lead. Felix, is it a smooth stop? Just about. Look pretty clean. Crispy will come out. Where's Bouts Justin? I think Felix will... It's going to be tight. I think he might just get out. As he comes out now. Yes, just sneaks ahead of Justin. So Felix still in a good position, if you ask me. He's gone on to the soft tyres though, which is a really interesting choice. At this point in the race I would have gone onto a set of hard tyres to try and get to the end, but unless he thinks he can make the soft tyres work, I'm not sure. I think it's a gamble, is that. That could potentially cost the race. So safety car queue just coming round Woodcut. As we wait for the rest of the field to bunch up, it looks like Callum has, in the AlphaTauri, has taken advantage of the safety car and done a pit stop onto hard, so he'll be going to the end of the race. He started on mediums, so makes sense to do that. So we're about halfway through this race. About everyone else is just about catching the safety car queue now, and hopefully once everyone's caught up we will be going racing. But I'm not surprised that the safety car was brought out for that incident, because it was a heck of an impact. Lewis Oliver leads the way, but he's got 2 very quick Alfa Romeo cars just behind him, so it'll be interesting to see if he can hold on. Fabio has got a 5-second penalty at the end of the race for a collision under the safety car, so potentially just a little bit of a touch. It says it's with fewer blitz, I think it said it was, so I'll have to double check that back. This will be interesting to see how this restart goes. A bunched up pack. Felix, for some reason, off his head and has gone on to soft tyres. I honestly can't see how he can get them to the end of the race. Unless he doesn't want to go to the end of the race, I don't know, but it seems like quite a bit of a gamble to me, does that? Safety car still going around. We're still waiting for a bit of the field to catch up, actually. Who have just made pit stops, should catch up fairly quickly. I've got a funny feeling though the safety car might be coming in at the end of this lap. We'll wait and see. If the lights goes out and we get the message from race control that the safety car is coming in, and my prediction was correct, the safety car is coming in this lap, so it is all on Lewis to get this restart underway. And it looks like, has he gone yet? Not quite. He's thinking about it. I think he's gone now. He comes racing through Vale. Gone quite early, to be fair, Lewis. He's out the last corner and the green light's on. We are racing once again. It's a pretty good restart from Lewis, to be fair, coming through Abbey. Already pulled quite a considerate gap. As who's out in the background? I think it was SDQ across the grass. It was indeed. Looks like he may have got pushed out coming through turn 1 and 2. As it looks like there's a bit of carnage at the back. Society, Bossy's involved. There's been a bit of contact at the back. So that's not going to play into anybody's hands. Meanwhile, the two Alfa Romeos, again, you would think, are going to have to work with each other here to try and catch up to Lewis Oliver and try and get past him. There's SDQ and Bronco having a scrap in the background, even though they're a lap down on each other. Justin's got a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. And that safety car has really slowed up the grid. It'll be interesting to see if Crispy can even catch up here, because with a quicker teammate behind him as well. As DRS Stefan's out the session. That is very interesting indeed to see what's happened there. There's a yellow in sector 2. I'm assuming it's just a pull over to the side kind of move, but is what it is. Sector 1 and 2 as Felix and Crispy are having a scrap for P2 and 3. I think Felix just about gets through, he does. Together, there's another yellow in sector 2. On board with Crispy, who is starting to fall away now. Felix has got through, and Felix really starting to show his pace. Lewis is really going to have to defend hard if he wants to keep this race lead. As Felix, oh Jesus Christ, he almost runs into the back of him. Does Felix really outbraked himself there, and that could have easily been carnage. DRS is enabled. This is not playing into Lewis's hands as they come through Abbey. Felix goes very wide. Lewis going very defensive, has to back out of it, and Felix is into the race lead. Just like that, and you think, unless another safety car comes, that is it now. He's going to walk away if he can make them tyres last. which I'm not 100% sure because tyre wear round Silverstone is extremely high. Bronco is now out of the race and a virtual safety car is being deployed. So that must have been a serious accident for Bronco. I'm not sure where he would have had that accident, but it's a serious enough one to bring out a VSC. So that's 2 VSCs and a safety car we've had in this race now. Full course yellow's out. SDQ on another time penalty for multiple warnings. As the light's gone out, we're green again, we're racing, and Lewis Oliver looks like he's going to come under attack from Crispy here in the other Alfa Romeo. You'd think he would want to try and keep that racing point on the podium, but look at the amount of cars he's got behind him now. Absolute stream of Formula 1 cars, just over 8 laps to go in this race. And it is shaping out to be an absolute classic of a British Grand Prix. Battles everywhere. Carnage as well in the meantime. Likely as behind Cohen is trying to slip past Justin. Has he got it done? I think he has. The camera seemed to flick there for some reason, but he has got it done. Cohen's through. Justin just behind. SDQ is looking to make a move. It's Justin looking to defend. SDQ looking to make a move. And he does make a move up the inside, very late on the brakes. But I think he's dived for the pit lane. Yes, he has. So SDQ's into the pits. Felix is just getting faster and faster now for Romeo. 1:26.5 now. Sort of qualifying pace times. That was Lewis Oliver. He's coming under a very large assault from Crispy Chicken. How long can Lewis Oliver stay there? I do not know. Based on the fact that Felix dispatched of him almost instantaneously on the restart. Lewis Oliver still desperately defending with 7 laps to go. He wants to hang on to that P2. It'll be interesting to see if he does hang on to it, but Crispy is going to push that Alpha as much as he can to try and get past, because if Crispy does get past, it'll be an Alfa Romeo 1-2. As Versailles has had a big crash and the safety car is out again. Wow, that has really shook things up. And there he is. Versailles has actually crashed on the pit entry. Wow, I don't think I've seen anything like it before. Versailles has actually crashed on the pit entry. It looks like he's been coming into the pits and he's just got it completely wrong. Wow. So that's going to bunch up the field again. That's the second safety car in this Grand Prix. Felix is not going to be happy about that. I mean, it could play into Felix's hands a little bit, because Because if them soft tyres are struggling now, it might be the ideal time to pit for him under a safety car with the field bunching up. And meanwhile, well, it's not often we see Callum up there, but Callum is loving life in P6 and he's going to get an opportunity to get into the top 5 by the time the safety car's bunched up. And Felix is taking the opportunity to pit, which I thought he would. It was the right time to go, to be fair, considering he was on the softs. All he has to do is either... All he has to do now, whack a fresh set of softs on and off he goes. Or mediums if he hasn't got any left. And he's putting a new set of softs on like I thought, so tyres are on, off he goes. That means Lewis Oliver gets another chance to defend the race lead. Just picks up the safety car now. This race has just been up and down all the time. Lewis Oliver now has another race lead. Lead for another couple more laps. And Felix has actually dropped down to P9 now, so he's got a lot of traffic to try and fight his way through, really, come the end of the race. Whether he would be able to manage that, well, we know what he's capable of, but I think by the time this safety car is going to come in, it's going to be a 3-lap dash to the end of the Grand Prix. Look at the stream of Formula 1 cars, it's fantastic, is that? All bunched up behind the safety car. But this has been a topsy-turvy Grand Prix, to say the least. Plenty of action, plenty of crashes as well. I mean, the one on the Wellington Straight involving Versailles and I think it was somebody else. I think it was for Declan, I think, off the top of my head, if I can't remember. My memory's gone like crap. There's that much happened in this race. Ben Ratcliffe, I caught a little bit of it, not a lot. I've just been trying to spread it out as much as I can, really. Let all the drivers get a bit of airtime. Got some good ones to use for overtake of the week, though. There was some good passes in there, so plenty of ones to use. Cheers, Ben. Oh dear. Oh no. Just I'm sure everyone else can see that in the chat, but if you're trying to remember a collision and guess Declan, you have 90% of being right. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to slate him off because he's had a fairly decent race so far, but he does get involved in a few incidents. Let's say that. I got a lot of stick in the Discord last week for slating a few people on stream, which I do apologise for. But the safety car is going to be coming in at the end of this lap. And Lewis, you'd think, is going to try and go as early as he can. He is gone now. Lewis has gone. And the assault from Crispy Chicken begins. We go green once again here at Silverstone. 3-lap dash to the end. Callum's now on a time penalty for multiple warnings. It looks like Felix has been involved in something there. He's dropping down the order. Trying to get past Declan. Oh, there's a bit of contact. Oh, and Felix has crashed. Big accident on the Wellington straight. It looks like Declan. He was trying to squeeze Declan out and it's caused him to crash. Oh dear, that's an absolute nightmare for Felix, is that? And surely you would think he can't recover from that now with 3 laps to go. Although it is Felix, that man is capable of anything from what we've found out so far in Season 1 of the Rookie Racing Championship. But Lewis Oliver carries on and extending his gap to Crispy behind. Cohen's had a good performance in the Haas today as well. His teammates, the 2 Haases, have been up there today. And Enderman, some reason, not often he's there, but on the Ferraris he's actually doing well. Which is quite unusual if you've tuned into the previous streams. I'm expecting him to do that well. We've got a yellow in sector 3 and DRS Stefan is out of the session. I think he was already out actually, he might have just left by the looks of things. And Felix has retired from the session. Felix is out. So the championship leader is out of the race. He went into the pit lane, I saw, but it looks like that the damage on that car is too much to repair, and they've been forced to retire the car. Real shame. With very few laps to go, I'm sure there'll be a steward's inquiry into what happened in that one, because it looks like Declan potentially might have moved across him on the exit and not taken the full curb, which potentially caused that collision, but you never know without looking at replays. But Lewis Oliver coming onto the penultimate lap, and he's had a good race today. He has really had a good race. Midfield pack still going through, nicely bunched up. Ben Ratcliffe now on a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. But it has been a good race. It's been an enjoyable race to watch. Plenty of action, which is always great to see. Lewis continuing on. Still going as quickly as he can. Coming towards the end of the race now, and he's deserved it. He's going to get his first win in the Rookie Racing Championship if he can keep it together for just one more lap. He's raced well. He's pulled just under a 2-second gap now to Crispy, and the battle for P2 might not all be over, because Cohen has caught onto the back of Crispy. It could be a real bad day for the Alphas today if Cohen gets past. Well, the Constructors' Championship is wide open again. if Cohen can get past on this last lap. DRS is available. I think he's got it. He's using it as much as he can. Brakes as late as he dares. Got a yellow, and Declan is out of the race. I think he's had a crash. Trying to see where he's crashed actually. So sector 2. I'm assuming he's crashed on the Wellington Straight. Find out. There's a yellow there, and he's off the track at Brooklands. I think that's where the yellow flags were being waved. But in the meantime, Lewis Oliver, like I say, he's driven a spotless race. He comes round the final corner. Lewis Oliver wins the British Grand Prix. Great drive for the Racing Point team. Crispy comes home in second. Cohen comes home in third eventually. Enderman comes home in fourth due to Justin having a penalty. So Justin drops down to fifth. Ben Up comes home in sixth. Callum 7th, Bossy 8th, Fabio 9th, SDQ 10th. And Fuhrer Blitz comes home P11. Really good race today. Really enjoyable to watch as well. And we have a different winner. That's really thrown the championship wide open really. Win for Racing Point today at the home Grand Prix, and it's also a win for Lewis Oliver. Thanks for joining us guys, and we'll see you next time.